Yes. Okay, good. Okay, guys. So we're going to be in the second part. We're going to be continuing with our second class of the week number one. Yeah. The last class on Thursday, we talk about the family and the friends relationships, and we also talk about how to use gerunds in different situations, right? How could we answer these kind of questions? Like, for example, what is the best part? What is the most difficult part? What is the biggest regret? What is the biggest downside that it's like disadvantage, no? So all of those questions that were answered with gerunds, no? So we were like, okay, the best part of having a big family is, and then a gerund, no? Or expressing like why, like for example, I enjoy having a big family because I love sharing time with them, for example, something like that, no? So we learn how could we describe all of those kind of complex sentences using gerunds. Ready? Today we're going to focus in our last question. Ready? The last question is, what is the most common arguments in families? Right? So guys, in your case, not in your family per se, but in your perception, what do you think that is the most common arguments, the most common problems in families? Like the most common discussions, if you wanna. About money or about time or about space or about, I don't know, identity maybe. What do you think are the most common problems in families nowadays?
Teacher, and sometimes the most common arguments in my family is about the house chores.
Oh, about responsibility. Okay. Okay, that's very common too. Mhm, mhm. Danny, what about you? What do you think? What are the most common problems in families? Maybe not in your family, but in families per se, like in general.
Maybe about money
Mhm.
and a lot of work, a little time
Oh,
together.
good. Of course, right. Yeah. Okay, great. So you consider that what the biggest problems are about family, about time, about money, and about responsibilities. I agree with you. I think exactly the same. Because in Colombian families, those are the three big problems, no? Like time for sharing with the rest of the family, money for activities and for responsibilities like financial responsibilities, and the responsibilities at home that people still think that it's like, okay, it's like a women's job or something like that, but no, it's something like it should be balanced, no? So those are the biggest like arguments in families. Now, in this case, when we talk about arguments, of course that we are talking about a mistake, something that anybody did wrong. For example, if the problem is money, it's because probably a person wasted the money in something that the person shouldn't have. Or if the problem is responsibilities, is because the person or one of the people of the family didn't do an activity or didn't do a responsibility that the person was supposed to do, right? So in this case, when we talk about arguments and problems, we're gonna use different kind of expressions. One, for expressing what was the reason of the problem, and two, for talking about what should have done in that case. It's kind of a review of the past models that we saw in the last level, in the intermediate one. Like at the end, in the week number 7, that we talk about possibilities and all of that, we're going to use something similar here in order to like describe suggestions for those problems and reasons, like what was the reason of that problem? Why were they in the family discussing or arguing? Ready? So let's start by talking about over here some situations that could have gone or like situations that could go wrong. No, like it's not only an argument, it's just one of the possibilities, right? An argument in life. Argument, it means discussion, ready? When it's like verbally, yeah. Teacher, so what is the meaning of discussion? A discussion, it's more similar to a debate. I mean, it's a discussion, but it's not like angrily, but it's a debate, an interchange of ideas. That's more like a discussion, right? Now, this kind, it's going to be an argument. Okay, and we have the verb argue. What is the meaning of what is the meaning? Oh, sorry. What is the meaning of the verb argue? What is the meaning of that verb?
Discutir.
Discutir, very good, exactly. So, discutir, pero de esta forma, no? Of course, that we also have discuss, but discuss is not like this, no? Discuss is like debating, no? So like, okay, no, yes, what do you think? No, I think this, you think that, that is discussing. No, arguing, it's the other way. But it's not the only situation that could be problematic, no? We can have other situations like, for example, sickness, like, for example, loss of somebody, of something, an accident, a robbery. So they were different kind of situations that we could comment in, right? And when we comment on these situations, well, we're going to have to do it from two different perspectives. The first one, it's talking about the possibility of that situation. Ready? In which case, we know that we have different kinds of models. If the model is, or if the situation is in the past, right? We are going to use must have, yeah, because it's the situation in past. If the situation is right now and you want to comment it right now, you use these modal verbs, but without the have, yeah. For example, we are commenting a problem live, like right now. So I said, oh my God, she she must be really angry. It's because I am sure, right? I'm really angry. But if I say she must be, it's right now. But if I am commenting a problem from the last week, if I am commenting a problem from yesterday, then I can say, oh, okay, she must have been really angry. Okay, I said must have been. Okay, it's not a problem right now. It's a problem that happened in the past. No? So any of these models, you know that it's the same. The structure is the same. So we use must or the modal verb, have, and the verb in past participle. And it's the same with could, it's the same with might, it's the same with may. Ready? What is the difference? If I use it for now, it's just the modal verb and the verb infinitive. Must be, could go, whatever. Or if it's in the past, must have and the verb in past participle. Ready? So both, all of those modals are going to have both uses for the present and for the past, right? Now, what is the difference between using all of these ones? Well, the degree of certainty. When I use must, so I'm sure. I am sure about the situation was that way. If I use could, say, I am like a 50-50. There is a chance, but I am not completely sure, right? And when we have made or might, it's like it's a possibility, but I am not sure, and it's not a big possibility. Let's say I'm guessing. O sea, what is the meaning of guessing? I always forget.
Adivinar.
Adivinar o suponer, very good, excellent. No? Entonces, I have the three options in affirmative. Must, could, might, may. Yeah, all of them, just certain, possible, not certain. That's it, right? But in the last time we didn't see them, and we're going to see them right now, the negative options. Like they are modals, the modal verb doesn't have an auxiliary. So it's just the modal verb plus not, plus the negation, yes? Usually contracted like this, no? Like N, T, and the modal verb, yeah? Usually, not in all the time, but normally. In this case, when I have the negative way of might not or may not, it's because I don't think it was on that way. I am not sure, but I don't think it was in that way. Probably it was in another different way, but I don't think that the situation developed in that way. For example, I say, I don't know, yesterday I arrived home and my sister was crying. I have no idea why she was crying because she cries all the time, but I am sure that she, sorry, I am not sure. I just think that she might not have, oh my God, wait, might with T, she might not have she might not have had problems with her boyfriend because her boyfriend was there and he was kind of like taking care of her. So in that case, I don't think that she might not, I mean, she might not have had problems with her boyfriend. I am not sure, but it's what I think. Yes, that's something that I don't think that happened. On the other hand, when I have mustn't and couldn't, it's because I'm sure that the action didn't go that way. This one, it's I am not sure, but I suppose that it didn't go that way. But in here, with mustn't and couldn't, I am sure that the situation didn't go that way. So I'm thinking that that action is impossible. That didn't happen. I am sure that that didn't happen. Example, same. I arrived home, she was crying, but I am sure that she mustn't have been hurt because she didn't have any kind hurt. What is the meaning of hurt? Hurt.
Herida?
Herida, muy bien, very good. So she mustn't have been hurt, no, because she was fine. She didn't have blood. She was not like in pain or anything. So I am sure that she mustn't have been in pain, right? The problem was a different one, but I am sure, at least I am sure that she mustn't have been hurt or she couldn't have been hurt. I am sure of that. Ready? So these modal verbs, okay, similar to what we saw the last time, they can be used for supposing or for giving my perspective of one situation. No, talking about the families, like for example, I don't know, yesterday I arrived and my wife was angry at me, but I don't know why, right? The only thing that I know is that there was a broom. Wait, there was a broom. What is the meaning of a broom? Any idea what is the meaning of a broom?
Escoba.
It's cool. Very good. Thank you. So my wife was super angry at me, but she was not talking to me. The only thing that I know is that when I arrived, there was a broom and there was a mop. What is the meaning of mop?
Trapero.
Trapero. Very good. Excellent. So there was a broom and there was a mop on the living room. But I don't know what was the problem. What do you think that was the argument about? Why was she angry? What do you think?
Teacher, you might not sweep and mop. No, you might not have sweep and mop the living room.
Excellent, my friend. So probably it was a responsibility of mine and I didn't do it. So Chris is saying like it's a possibility, teacher, that you might not have swept. This one is the past participle of sweep. And mop is a regular verb. Yes, so you said and mop. Oh my God. And mop, double P. Mop the living room. Muy bien, that's the possibility, right? Christian is not sure, but he has a very well guessing, right? So that I might not have swept and mopped the living room. That's why these objects were there. That's a possibility. Yes, but no, you know the teacher. Sometimes we have more evidence. No, so for example, the sweep and mop. So Anila says, "Ah, no, teacher, I am sure you must have forgotten to sweep and mop the living room, for example." Or we said, oh, okay, you know what? She was your wife, my wife, she must have had to sweep and mop the living room. Yeah. So in that case, I can do it for sure, certainly. Or I can just do it like, like a guessing, no? With may or might. It depends on you. It depends on your perspective. Ready? So on your perception, sorry. So in that case, if you think you're sure, you can use must or could. If you think there is not enough evidence, then you can talk about may have or might have. Ready? Okay. Now, those are just modal verbs that we have for supposing. Ready? So it's just like I think so. In this case, they do not apply for obligation or recommendation. No, they just apply for like supposition, in which we said like, okay, it's a possibility that that happened or that didn't happen, right? It's just a possibility, or I am sure, but I am not judging. I am not saying if it was a good idea or a bad idea. Nothing, right? Now, when we talk about that, when we want to describe my opinion about if it was a good idea or a bad idea, well, you know that we're going to have other different verbs. Ready? So, come on here. Ready? We're going to have these verbs, these modal verbs or collocations, yeah, in order to describe like if those problems were my problem, my fault, if it was my family's fault, or who was the person who made the mistake. In this case, what we're going to do is judging. Judging it means like giving my opinion about that problem. I think it was your problem. I think it was my problem. No. So in that case, we're going to have, well, should have, that you completely know it. You already are familiar with should have, right? And then we're going to use the verb be supposed to in past. Was supposed to or were supposed to, depending on the subject. And also had to and needed to. Okay? Now, all of them are going to express something different. Yeah? When I use should have or shouldn't have, I'm talking about that it was, I mean, if I say should have, probably was not the best idea, but I did it anyway. If I say shouldn't have, it's because, okay, it was a bad idea. Yes, like it was a bad idea when I say shouldn't have. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, it was a bad idea, but I did it. Now, on the other hand, when I say should have, that's the opposite. It's because it was a good idea, but I didn't do it, right? So we're talking about from the idealistic part. If it shouldn't have, it's a bad idea, but I did it. So it was a mistake. And if I said should have, it's because it was a good idea, but I didn't do it. So anyway, it was a mistake. Ready? If I use was supposed to, it's like what it was expected to do, but it didn't happen, right? When I say I was supposed to in the affirmative way, I was supposed to, yeah, it's like everybody, my family, my friend, everybody was expecting me to do that. Yeah, it was what I had to do. It was what was normal to do, but I didn't do it. Or if I use the opposite, like wasn't supposed to, right? Wasn't supposed to, then I am talking about something that it was not normal, but I did it. Ready? When I say be supposed to, it's like the how can I say that? The normality in our lives, no, what is expected to do. For example, a teacher is supposed to explain the topics, but maybe the person doesn't do it, no? So this is what is expected to do, what it's normally expected from that person, either if it's affirmative or negative, right? Had to on the other way, well, it's obligation. It's just what I had to do. That's it. What it was mandatory. It was my obligation, no? Had to. And didn't have to, the negative one, it's in the past, didn't have to. I am saying like, okay, it was not my obligation. For example, I had an argument with my brother because I didn't have to wash the dishes. Yeah, he had to wash the dishes, but he didn't do it. So in that case, it was not my obligation. I didn't have to do it, right? In the same way, we are going to use need. Didn't need to, if it's something that it was not necessary, didn't need to, or needed to. Remember that need finishing D. So the pronunciation, it's going to contemplate the pronunciation of E. Needed, needed, needed to, right? So I needed to clean my room and I did it. Or if it's the opposite, no, I didn't need to. It was not necessary, right? So we're going to have all of these expressions, guys. Ready? And all of them are going to include a different intention. Okay? Should have or shouldn't have. Yeah. Also, Should have and shouldn't have, remember that they use verb in past participle. I should have gone, I should have done, right? The same here, verb in past participle. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have eaten that. I shouldn't have gone there, you know? All in all the other ways, be supposed to, had to, needed to, they are followed by a verb. But if fuck, if it's after to, it's a verb in what form? What is the form of the verb after to? In what form? This verb is after to,
Base.
base form or infinitive form. Muy bien, Dani. Excellent, right? So after the to, it's going to be the verb in infinitive form. Ready? I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't have to do that. I had to eat that. I was supposed to clean that in the basic form. Different from should have or shouldn't have, which is very in past participle, similar to the previous ones, no? So should have, could have, must have, all of them function the same way in the structure, but in the intention, they are completely different. Here, in this case, they function the same in grammar again, but in the intention, they are completely different. Ready, guys? So far, we have seen many models, should have, could have, might have, must have, and other expressions, had to, needed to, was supposed to, be supposed to, didn't have to, all of them. Questions in terms of grammar here? Questions in terms of grammar, like the structure, or are they clear?
No, teacher, not me.
Okay, very good. Danny, what do you think? Questions? Any difficulty?
No, the shade is clear.
It's very good. Guys, it's important. I'm going to repeat a little bit this part because I saw some problems in this case in the exercises of the final part of the intermediate one. Ready? Sometimes in some of the exercises you use modals in past, but you forgot to use the verb in past participle. You use the verb normally. Like for example, I shouldn't have go. But no, if it's shouldn't have, then the verb is past participle. Ready? Try to take into account that because I saw some problems of that in the final activities. Okay, but okay, perfect. Okay. So here, that's great. Okay, thanks a lot. Now, guys, I would like you to tell me, yes, the last thing that you should or shouldn't have done at home that you say like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. Or the thing that you said, I should have done that, but I forgot. What was the last thing that you should or shouldn't have done at home? Like, with your family. Something that you should or shouldn't have done.
I should have done the dishes, right?
Okay, very good. So I should have done the dishes. Okay, wait. Guys, can you listen to me fine? ¿Me escuchan bien?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let's say right. Right. Anyway, so I should have done the dishes. Thank you, Chris. Danny, what about you?
I should have washed my shoes.
Okay, very good. I should have washed my shoes. Okay. In this case, I'm going to ask you something. Do you think that it was a good idea or it was because your parents expected you to do? When you said I should have, is because you considered that it was a good idea. You said like, It was the best thing to do, but I didn't do it. But if I use was supposed to, it was like, "Ah, my mother told me to do it, but I didn't do it. My mother was expecting me to do it, but I didn't do it. I didn't want to, but I was expected to do it. I was supposed to." So what do you think? It was because it was a good idea, or it was because your mother told you to do it and you didn't do it?
In my case, is a good idea. Idea.
Idea. And Chris, what about you?
It's because I have to do it.
Exactly. Good. Right. Sorry. So in Daniela's case, good. It's I should have washed my shoes because she believed that it was a good idea. But in Christian case, no, because he didn't want to. I mean, of course, do the dishes. It's not like, oh my God, what a good plan. It's just because we have to, right? So in that case, but he didn't do it. So when we said, okay, it was what is expected to do, it was our obligation, but I didn't do it, then like I was expected or I was supposed to, we have two options, supposed to or expected to. Is exactly the same. Ready? So I was supposed to, I was expected to. Of course, I'm not going to use do, pardon, don't, but I'm going to use do. Yes. So I was expected to do the dishes. I didn't do it, but I was supposed to, right? So there is a difference between should have and be supposed to. This one includes a good perception of the action. This one, no, it's just including an obligation. Yeah, I didn't do it, but I had to, but I didn't do it. And then it takes us directly to the next one that it's had to, an obligation. No, guys, believe no, remember and tell me what was the last thing that you did by obligation. Like that you didn't want to, but you had to do at home, at work, with friends, no say something. But tell me the last obligation that you had to follow.
Teacher, I
Mhm.
had to stay 1 more hour in my work.
Oh my God. I had to stay. I had to stay. You could say like overtime. I had to stay overtime at work. Overtime, it means like tiempo extra, no? Like I had to stay overtime at work. Bad thing. Okay, but yeah, usually that's a very common obligation at work. Okay, Chris, thank you so much. Danny, what about you, my dear?
Mm, I had to make the bed.
You didn't want to, but it was an obligation. Okay, I didn't want, pardon, I had to make the bed, right? Good. Okay, very good. In my case, for example, yesterday, I had to, I had to supply like another teacher that was sick, another teacher. No? So I didn't want to, of course, but I had to because it was my responsibility to be her backup. Yeah, so that case I had to supply another teacher, like that was sick. Mhm. So guys, in that case, the difference between had to and needed to, it's kind of similar between shouldn't have and be supposed to. Had to, it's an obligation. Needed to, it's something that we believe that it's necessary, but probably it's not mandatory. It's just something that we believe that it's necessary. It's like kind of a self-obligation, but it's nothing that the person tell us like, okay, it's an obligation. No, it's more like a personal perception. Ready? So in this case, these modal verbs, all of them in past, ¿cierto? All of them in had, needed, be supposed to, should have, all of them are for the past. Now they are going to help me not to discuss possibilities, but to discuss suggestions or judgments, no? Like it was your obligation, it was my obligation, it wasn't my responsibility. You were supposed to do it. I wasn't supposed to do it. You should have done it. I shouldn't have. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done it. So there are a big possibility of things that we can have here. Ready? Right? So it's a little bit, it's a little bit too much information, but I think that you got it clear, right? So no problems over here, right? So guys, we're going to watch a video here. The video, it's about a situation, but I'm going to share the screen with sound. Wait a second. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to watch a video. The video, it's about a situation that happened, with some kids. Ready? Probably we're going to watch it twice. It has subtitles, so try to read the subtitles as you are also trying to listening. Ready? So let me just put it in screen. Okay.
Hi, here, listen. Have you ever heard about the Ouija? Have you ever heard about spirits from other worlds? Those evil beings who just want to possess a soul to feel alive again. They are entities which are always looking for a bridge or a path to cross into this world, to have any feeling whatsoever. Not long ago, there was a group of teenagers who were playing around with one of those mysterious objects in the schoolyard, when suddenly they started to see strange movements on the leaves of the trees and weird noises in the air. They thought it might have been the wind which was blowing stronger than usual, but some of them also felt something awkward that made them think that they shouldn't have been playing with things they didn't really understand. It must have been a very serious experience for all of them. Since that afternoon, they all disappeared. Their parents were desperately looking for them, thinking where they could have gone after class. One of the members of the group, who was more respectful of the unknown, reported that he refused to participate. He said that he had seen them leaving school together, wondering in his head that he would never have dared to play with the spirits from the other world. Nowadays, kids have not come back yet, and to make the situation worse, some clothes have been found in different parts surrounding their houses. The parents thought that there might have been a serial killer or something like that, but it is not very likely since there haven't been any other reports of disappearances. While the town's priest have claimed several times that he has been having strange visions on his dreams and that there must have been something paranormal going on around. Police haven't figured out what may have happened with them, but in every interview that they have given, they always claim that those kids should not have played with such weird matters, and that their families should have been more attentive of their children. There are others more skeptical who said that kids might just have run away as teenagers normally do at that age, but their parents have denied such theories. The only certainty is that those kids should have returned to their houses safe and sound 3 weeks ago, but they still haven't. So, something must have gone wrong, and they certainly could have had some kind of trouble. Hope is still alive, and parents are still certain that their kids must not have died, so we hope. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Okay, guys. So as you could see, it's a podcast in which they tell a story about the Ouija board, no? So some kids disappeared, right? Do you want to listen once again, or was it clear for you?
Teacher, I want to listen once again.
Of course, of course. Ready. So just as a matter of contextualization, yeah. So there were some kids that were playing with the Ouija board, no? So that's why the beginning of the podcast is talking about paranormal things and spirits of the other world and blah blah blah. Then they start telling the story. Ready? So let's go again.
Hi, here, listen. Have you ever heard about the Ouija? Have you ever heard about spirits from other worlds? Those evil beings who just want to possess a soul to feel alive again. They are entities which are always looking for a bridge or a path to cross into this world, to have any feeling whatsoever. Not long ago, there was a group of teenagers who were playing around with one of those mysterious objects in the schoolyard, when suddenly they started to see strange movements on the leaves of the trees and weird noises in the air. They thought it might have been the wind which was blowing stronger than usual, but some of them also felt something awkward that made them think that they shouldn't have been playing with things they didn't really understand. It must have been a very serious experience for all of them. Since that afternoon, they all disappeared. Their parents were desperately looking for them, thinking where they could have gone after class. One of the members of the group, who was more respectful of the unknown, reported that he refused to participate. He said that he had seen them leaving school together, wondering in his head that he would never have dared to play with the spirits from the other world. Nowadays, kids have not come back yet, and to make the situation worse, some clothes have been found in different parts surrounding their houses. The parents thought that there might have been a serial killer or something like that, but it is not very likely since there haven't been any other reports of disappearances. While the town's priest have claimed several times that he has been having strange visions on his dreams and that there must have been something paranormal going on around. Police haven't figured out what may have happened with them, but in every interview that they have given, they always claim that those kids should not have played with such weird matters, and that their families should have been more attentive of their children. There are others more skeptical who said that kids might just have run away as teenagers normally do at that age, but their parents have denied such theories. The only certainty is that those kids should have returned to their houses safe and sound 3 weeks ago, but they still haven't. So, something must have gone wrong, and they certainly could have had some kind of trouble. Hope is still alive, and parents are still certain that their kids must not have died, so we hope. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
Okay, very good. So I think that I know that the video is a little bit longer, but it presents a lot of different examples of how can we use this kind of verbs, no? At the beginning, when they are talking about suppositions, right? So they use, for example, that they suppose that it might have been the wind, the wind that was blowing stronger than usual, but it was something strange anyway. So they say like, it might have been, but it's not like a really certain affirmation, but it's just like a supposition, no? So that's why they say it might have been. Then on the other parts, like they start talking about, okay, I really don't know what happened, ready? So where they could have gone. They went somewhere because they disappeared, but they are not sure. So they say, we don't know where they could have gone, no, like 50-50. There is a chance that they are in other places, in the school, in other different parts, but they are not certain about it, right? Also, then later they mention like, okay, careful. If they are denying some theories, like for example, the serial killer, they said like, no, it might have been a serial killer, but not really. It's not really certain because there haven't been any other reports of the in the town, no? Then the priest of the town, no, the priest of the town talked, and he said that he had been having some strange dreams in those days. So he's sure that what? What is he sure about?
Teacher, sorry, what do you ask?
The priest of the town, he said that he had been having some strange dreams when he sleeps. So he is sure about something. But what is he sure about? What is the thing that he says? I am sure that. You remember? No. Well, he says that there must have been something paranormal going on. Ready? But let me just show you here. He
Been
says
something paranormal going on around. Several
exactly.
times that he has been having strange visions on his dreams and that there must have been something paranormal going on around.
You see, he says that there must have been something paranormal. He's certain about it because the strange dreams are not normal. So he knows that something paranormal is going on. So that's why he said, no, there must have been something paranormal going on around, right? Sorry. Then The police officers, they say like they have no idea where the kids might have gone, but they give a judgment. They say two things that the kids what? Something about the kids and something about the parents. What are the recommendations or the judgments about the kids and the parents?
And the parents should have attended with kids.
Muy bien, Dani. The parents should have been, debieron haber estado, should have been more attentive with the kids. True. Mhm. And the other, it's a judgment about the kids. Do you remember what was that?
It should no, the kids shouldn't have played with that.
Exactly. The kids shouldn't have played with weird matters, with strange things, and the parents should have been more attentive, right? In which case, they are not supposing anything. They are just giving judgment. No, they're saying like, it was not a good idea to do that. So they shouldn't have been playing with that. And it was a good idea that the parents were more attentive. So they should have been more attentive with their kids, right? Now, after that, they, wait, so, and after that, then we have different like theories about what could have happened. No, they say that the kids should have returned to the house, but they didn't do it. So something must have happened, but they don't know exactly what. The parents are sure, the parents are sure that their kids must have, or must be, mustn't have died. They are sure that the kids are still alive, so they are sure that the kids must not or mustn't have died. Ready? But they don't know exactly what could have happened to them. So in that case, that's why they are making so many theories about the paranormal, about the disappearance, about the all of that, right? This guys, in this case, we can see how they use all the modal verbs for different reasons. Some of them for supposing, some of them for giving certainty, some of them for judgments, right? So that's the idea of the modal verbs in past. They have many different uses in that way, right? Claro, of course, in the story, there are other mistakes. Like, for example, the parents didn't do anything, the police didn't do anything. What do you think that the police or the parents were supposed to do in that case? What were they supposed to do?
I supposed to think they on the street.
Good. Bueno, okay, very good. So, wait, so, well, not you, but they, they, and with the verb to be, they were supposed to find them, o sea, the kids, outside, like in the street, in the woods, well, outside. Hmm? Muy bien, it was their obligation, but they didn't do it, no? They didn't look for the kids in the street, no? They were just waiting for them to appear, no more, yeah? So that it's the other different kind, the other different use of these modal verbs, no? Like, okay, no, it was an obligation, but they didn't do it, okay? Now, guys, very quickly, you're going to think in a situation of yours. Not too complicated as this one, right? But a situation in which there was an argument at home. Can be real or can be fake, So in that case, please tell me, what do you think that could have happened? And in that case, one or two like recommendations or opinions about what should have happened or what was supposed to happen. Example, I'm going to give you an example. So I'm going to continue with the example of my wife. No? So I arrived yesterday at home and she was crying. She was angry at me, probably because I might not have cleaned the living room. No? But the problem is that I didn't have to clean the living room because it was not my turn. She had to clean the living room, but she also had to work a lot. So in that case, I think that I should have helped her with the cleaning, but I didn't because I didn't have to. It was not my responsibility. So, but since she had a lot of work, I think that I should have helped her. Yes, I was not supposed to because it was not my turn, but I should have helped her with the cleaning. That's why I think that that's why she could have been angry at me. Ready? Así, sencillo. What was the possible reason of the problem and what should have or what shouldn't have done or what was supposed to do depending on the people. ¿Listo? Think for a second, think for a minute. I'm going to leave this here. Think about it. What was the situation? What could have been the reasons? What were the best idea or the worst idea? So you let me know what happened.
Teacher,
Hmm?
the last my boss said that I had to arrive at work at 7 a.m., but I was supposed to arrive at 8 a.m.
Okay. Okay. And why do you think that he changed that? Like, what could have been the reason to change the time?
To, es que no sé cómo se dice, reponer,
Recover? Recover could be.
como recover hours.
Okay, but are you sure or you
No,
just a supposition?
no, I'm sure.
Okay, so you said, ah, teacher, it must have, or I must have recovered some hours, for example, no? So, like, because you are sure. Mhm. Excellent.
Oh,
But then you said, like, for example, my boss told me that I had to, it was an obligation, but it was not expected from you because the normal thing is that you enter at 8 a.m. So that's the thing, no? So I was supposed to enter at 8 a.m., but he told me that I had to enter at 7 a.m., right? Now we can use the other models for talking about suppositions about the reasons why, no? So like, I don't know, maybe there could have been a personal shortage, como recorte personal or something like that. Or probably, oh no, I am sure that it must have been because I had to recover some hours, something like that. Listo, Chris? Excellent. So far, so good. Danny, what about you, dear?
I was at a party and I arrived home late.
Mm-hmm.
I should have arrived early or called my parents to
Good.
say I was late.
Uh-huh. Okay, very good. Question. I mean, I know the answer, but why didn't you call your parents?
They?
Tell me. Yeah, why didn't you call your parents? I mean, what was the reason that you forgot to call your parents?
mm, maybe, ¿cómo se dice? Que estaba lejos.
I
I
was
was
far away.
far. Yes.
Okay, so in that case, you said one important word, which is maybe. Maybe we know that maybe it's only a possibility, ¿no? Maybe se desprende el verbo may. So ahí mismo, I'm going to go, teacher, no sé, I don't know. Perdón, may have, should, I may have been too far. Ya, pronto es que no, pues pude haber estado muy lejos y por eso no los llamé, right? O, you know what, teacher, the party could have been too good or too exciting. Estaba muy buena la fiesta y maybe that was the reason that I didn't call them, right? Entonces, estos los están incluyendo súper bien. I was supposed to, I should have done that because but I didn't do it, okay? But try to include also these ones when you suppose about the reasons of um, the problem, of the situation, ¿no? So, like, ¿por qué pasó? Pues, no sé, teacher, pudo haber pasado porque de pronto pude haber hecho esto, pude haber hecho lo otro, seguro que fue porque debía haber hecho esto, debía haber hecho lo otro, ready? So in that case, try to include also these modal verbs when talking about the reasons of a situation. No, as I said before, wait. As I said before, in this case, you mentioned arguments. No, like arguments at home with your people, with your family, with your boss. But remember that there are many other situations. No, like for example, the person got sick. Hmm? He might, we don't know because we are not doctors, but we know that he might have eaten something rotten. What is the meaning of rotten? Do you remember? Rotten? What is the meaning of rotten? No, no idea.
Podrido.
Podrido, very good. So the man got sick, he got intoxicated because he might have eaten something rotten. I am supposing, right? Now that's the reason. The recommendation is that, or the opinion is that shouldn't have he shouldn't have eaten in the street, for example. No, so that's one thing. It's to talk about the recommendation or the opinion about the problem, but other completely different. It's talking about the reasons of that problem. No, the man died because I suppose no, I am sure that it was because he must have had a heart attack. Now, the judgment is that he shouldn't or he was not supposed to eat so much fat or so much grease, no? Because he had a problem in the heart. So he must have had a heart attack because he wasn't supposed to eat so much fat, right? So we have two different uses of different modal verbs. Okay, so you have to include not only one about the judgment or the opinion, but also the others about the supposition of the action. Okay, guys. Guys, questions? How do you feel? Was it clear? Was it good? Difficulties, problems, anything? Everything good?
No, teacher, it's clear.
It's clear.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, guys. So the next week, it's going to be week number 2. We only have one class the next week. Ready? So I think it's gonna be programmed for Tuesday. So see you Tuesday at 8 p.m. as usual. Ready? So guys, thank you for being here. And Chris, continue to finish. You have this weekend to finish the activities and the checkpoints. Ready? So I hope to check it out on Monday. Ready? Because for
yes.
entering the next level, I have to check the checkpoint, the final checkpoint. So probably on Monday I will do that. I will check all the activities from the weekend on Monday. So after the checkpoint is approved, you have to answer the survey and then you are inscribing the next level. Okay?
Okay, teacher, I'm finishing this weekend.
Okay, perfect. Excellent, my friend. Okay, guys, so thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. See you Tuesday. Okay, have a good day. Enjoy your weekend, and that's it.
Thank you, teacher. See you.
Thank
See
you.
you. Bye, Danny. Bye, Chris.